episode 8. I'm Seth.
I'm Nick.
Colby.
And this is our monthly discussion of the comics that we think deserve your attention from August 2015. To start off with, we delve into our favorite first issues of the month. Here are some brand new stories that we think you can jump right into.
We individually choose a single first issue to Hemingway review. Ernest Hemingway claimed he could break your heart in 6 words, and we are going to try and sell you a comic in just as many. Normally, we then pick a first issue that we all collectively think is the best, has the most promise, just personal favorite. Last month it was Lando. We have a big group discussion about it. This month, we could not decide. There's a lot of split hairs, and there weren't that many first issues.
Yeah,
So this month we are going to pick the best Hemingway. Collectively like adults. We even have an outside judge. Reward is a minute of just tell us about why you think whatever comic won was the best first issue of the month.
Can I do why yours wasn't the best first issue of the
Not yet.
If I
Maybe
win?
Time
Nick
permitting.
wins. If Nick wins, then you maybe...
Yeah, if I win, you can shit all over it.
Alright, let's start with Colby. What you got?
Alright. So String Divers, Ashley Wood's project, also Chris Ryal and Nelson Daniel. My Hemingway is Severed Red String Alters Ship's Direction.
Cool.
Cryptic.
Super vague.
For my first issue of the month, I chose Over the Garden Wall. It is a comic by Pat McHale and is based on a short Cartoon Network series or something like that.
Research!
No, it was a short. It was a short comic that they turned into a miniseries on Cartoon Network. My Hemingway review is Chores Misunderstood, Sobbing Cabin Floods Yard.
That's a cool image.
Yeah.
It is.
Doesn't mean
cool.
you won the Hemingway.
We'll see about that.
Yeah.
And Nick, what do you got?
Got a controversial one. Just to my left.
Only slightly.
I have a Marvel title. My favorite first this month was Hank Johnson, Agent of Hydra. It's by David Mandel, art by Michael Walsh and Matthew Wilson. My Hemingway review is Hydra Henchman Life with Seinfeld-esque writing. That sounds like the winner!
I don't know about that.
Okay.
Those are our
favorite first issues this month. So either way, should definitely check them out. There's some very good beginnings to some stories. But who should win?
Crying Cabin.
Your work.
Crying Cabin, go
Does it
ahead.
feel good?
Thanks. Thanks, Kat.
There is a real good reason that Hank Johnson didn't win. Go ahead.
So now, Seth, you won, fair and square.
Thank you.
You get a whole minute to talk about.
You only won because there's a Crying Cabin
Over the golf.
comic book.
Well, I decided to talk about it, didn't I? Could have left that out. As I said before, Over the Garden Wall is a continuation of a Cartoon Network cartoon. It is a 4-part series about 2 brothers, Work and Greg, and their companions, a frog and a bird. And they're trying to catch a ride on a horse and buggy passing down a road. They end up at a farm with 2 girls who are trying to shirk their chores onto the older brother, Work. And they are very vague about what they want him to do. So he ends up messing up, he ends up cracking all the chicken's eggs and burning the linens that they're supposed to be drying. And then the girl's dad finds out, and he's kind of the coolest part of this issue is the dad is anthropomorphized as this cabin that's very boisterous and loud and kind of yelling at the kids as they're messing all this stuff up. And once he realizes that all this work's kind of messed up his whole homestead, he starts crying and kind of floods the yard, and Work and his brother have to kind of run away. But the whole story is about the bird trying to convince Work to be more assertive and not to be as apologetic in what he's doing. And it's a really good comic. It's a good one, a good all ages comic, and it was really fun. And hilarious.
Had you seen the show? What
I
turned you
have
on?
not seen the show. I was just looking for first issues, kind of, how we all do, keep an eye out for them. And this one kind of caught my eye, and I was glad I picked it up.
Did the all ages aspect of it hinder any of the story, or did it make it better? Or
It's
not something that we usually.
Sure.
I don't feel like we've ever really picked an all ages book.
Yeah, it's very much in the lens of like a child's book where it follows kind of 3-act structure and a really limited scope, while kind of telling this overarching, maybe moral, but not so heavy-handedly. But other than that, I mean, it is really funny. I thought even non-children will be able to find this comic funny. Well, that ends part 1 of the hits for the month of August. Tune in for part 2 where we will be getting into our favorite comics of the month. The best comics that we deem
The best.
the best ever.
And
comics.
August was just full of them.
Yeah, unlike
So-
first issues.
Unlike first issues, there were a ton of great comics that came out either way, so stick around.
Welcome to part 2 of Cover Judgers The Hits, episode 8 from August 2015. We'll start off by presenting our runners-up for the month, where we'll get 30 seconds to lay out why this comic was so great, and the person most successful in describing their comics will get a little extra time to delve into their number 1 pick of the month.
Colby's second favorite book of the month is, and don't forget to say the artist and stuff.
Empty Zone 3. This one's easy because it's all Jason Sean Alexander.
You can tell.
Jason Alexander?
Jason Alexander from Seinfeld.
Jason Sean Alexander's painted art perfectly depicts a rough dystopic future with enough hints and flashes of current objects to keep it believable. There's an erotic energy mixed in with the darkness and a good bit of confusion with that the reader shares with the main character, Corrine. That's Corrine. Solar flares have taken out the satellite Wi-Fi internet world we currently know, yet there are functioning robots, mechanical prosthetics, and other electronic possibilities. In issue 2, we glimpse Corrine's strengths, powers, as she fought a new breed of cybernetic zombies. This issue magnificently crossed boundaries in both the erotic and violence.
You're done! You are done! It's over!
You have to read Empty Zone.
Is that all you had to say? Yes! Oh, just missed it. Seth, what is your second favorite comic of August 2015?
My runner-up is We Stand on Guard number 2, the new book by Brian K. Vaughan, art by Steve
Scroachy, like Croachy.
Scroce.
Sorry if
I
I
like
butchered
Scroce,
that, but
sorry.
we're going with Scroachy.
Scrosse.
Scroachy.
All right, here we go. After a less than stellar first issue, in my opinion, this issue really kicks it into gear. We get a better insight into our main character's past and why maybe she's fighting the fight she is. We get great weaponry and mech and an awesome hideout, a great cliffhanger at the end, and the introduction of a villain, something we were definitely missing from the first issue. USA are some cold-hearted tyrants.
Time. Well done, my friend. Woo! Not a press.
28
Colby almost pulled off the impossible. Seth did a great job.
It's not all
You
that
did a
time.
great job.
After
Content.
forcing
Content and time.
You forced 8 pounds
Obviously,
of
there wasn't
shit
enough
into a
content
5-pound
in that
can,
comic
man.
to stretch it to 30 seconds.
looking good, girl.
Shh. I'm gonna use that. I am. No, I will, because I actually am going to utilize the book in my 30-second thing.
All right, that's my runner-up. Nick, what do you got? Looking good, girl.
My second favorite comic of August
Looking good,
2015.
girl.
Oh my god.
So that was my runner-up for August. Nick, what do you got?
Looking good, girl. Sorry.
That wasn't actually.
Stop. Don't fucking say looking good girl. I already had it planned out.
You're so mad.
I'm not mad. I want to win.
So that was my runner-up for August. Nick, what do we got?
My second favorite book of the month. Maybe even my first favorite, but that aside, The Wicked and the Divine by Kieran Gillen. And for this third arc of The Wicked and the Divine, they're having a guest artist come every single issue. The one from Shudder, the artist from Shudder's coming in, I think, 2 months. It's pretty exciting. But this particular one, Be Still My Heart, happens to be my hashtag art crush, Tua Lote.
Did you start a timer?
When he puts it on the ground.
Oh, I see.
I'm still describing.
What kind of intro is that?
Still describing
That's the longest intro
the artist. The artist.
That's the longest intro
In this issue, we are introduced to yet another god. Her name is Tara. Tara, not really sure. She's a beautiful woman, and to maintain artistic credentials, she decides to put on a mask because she's just so gorgeous. I won't give any spoilers away, and it's sort of a one-shot, but they delve into this sort of internet trolling culture and abuse of women through rape and murder threats, and it's disgusting, and it fit perfectly in this.
So weigh it.
What?
Weigh it.
That wasn't over. I hit it.
Something I noticed though, you didn't say looking good girl.
Fuck! I was gonna say, Tula, your art! Looking good, girl. And I fucking... God damn it.
I think that pretty much says it.
Colby won.
Did I? Did I?
No,
Can you say that?
No, you didn't win.
Say it again.
No, Seth won. You went over. Today's Seth's day.
What the fuck ever.
It's true.
So you get extra time to talk about your number one. That's pretty sweet. You can go last, too. So those are our second favorite comics of the month, and this is literally the cream of the crop. These are what we feel were the best comics of August, and gosh darn it, there were a lot of heavy hitters in it.
Yeah.
Almost every issue was good.
10 deep probably.
Deadly Class was good. Velvet was good. Low was amazing.
Oh,
and I
no.
never give Colby the satisfaction of telling him that Low is as good as it usually is.
You guys don't read these books, but Castaways, really good.
I can tell. I can tell.
Colby,
Really good.
Colby
It's
can just tell.
Descender. Me and Colby are in the Descender train. That one was really good.
Yeah, I think so too. What the hell's wrong with you? You didn't like Descender.
It's hard for
me. Anyways.
You're waiting for something to happen.
No, it's hard for me to feel anything about these cotton
You've been
candy
chopped.
people.
So good.
You're up
Old Man
first.
Logan was really good.
What about, we didn't even mention Rumble.
You haven't mentioned Rumble yet. And there it is. It
So
was
good.
It was really good.
All right. That all aside, Nick, you're up first. What is your favorite comic of August 2015?
My very favorite of August 2015 is a book that I've always really liked. It's had its low points, but I think it's returned to form completely, and that is Birthright. This is issue number 10. It's a book written by Joshua Williamson and drawn by Andre Bresson. Overall, the story is about a young boy who gets lost in the woods, taken to another dimension, I guess. The repercussion is that he's with his father, and the police charge him with abducting his own child, or possibly murdering it. So you've got this very real crime drama at home, but he's on this weird adventure in a land called Terranos. His name's Mikey. About a year after his disappearance, Mikey comes back having lived 20 years in Terranos. And he's come back to defeat this overall evil. There's a big twist in the first issue in that he might be controlled by the evil he claims to have completely obliterated in Terranos. That is like the bread and butter of this book, and in this issue, so Mikey, this young kid who comes back as this 28-year-old warrior, is now with his little brother, and they are facing the evils that they're talking about, but now an even bigger twist has happened. The art's always amazing, the creatures are awesome. I do not like this cover. I think it's gross. Of course you do. Birthright is always awesome, and you should be reading it.
Is that Mikey ripping his
Yeah, that's Mikey.
Let me ask you a question, Nick.
Sure.
I think we kind of have to talk about the spoiler because it's been there all along. In this issue, to me, was the first real indication that our darkest fears are true.
Yes.
Up to this point, you kind of hold out hope that he's kind of double-crossing this demon. Mm-hmm. And this issue, I mean, I guess there's still a possibility that's true, but this issue really cements that fact.
So
How do you feel about that decision or that progression?
the way they personify his enemy, the God King Lore, is he has this rash on his back,
It's
and they call it the Nevermind. The Nevermind locks him in to do what God King Lore wants. Now this whole time, like Seth was saying, we are hoping Mikey's in it to win it, do the right thing, because he's...
That would be like the conventional choice.
Yeah. But in this one, it seems a lot like he is just a puppet of the bad guy. And it's sad because his brother is now sort of in the crosshairs. It wasn't what I expected in issue 1 with the Nevermind, and once again the Nevermind has twisted it up again at issue 10. It's a great read, especially if you like fantasy adventure stuff.
All right, Colby, you're up next. What's your favorite comic of August?
Just dissed our audience of 1. I don't know, guys. What is it?
Well, it's either Black Science, Low, Hellboy something, or one other one.
Rest assured, if Hellboy is actually
Rumble. It's Rumble, Bitch Planet.
If Hellboy's in a comic and art, Mike Mignola actually did the art. That's it. Months over. Mike Mignola written and drawn, and Dave Stewart colors. Brilliant. Timer ready?
It's going.
No, that's not fair.
No.
Mignola's graced us with the full art and story for these Hellboy and Hell issues, which is a huge treat. And he's mostly, right now, as he's mostly writing and editing and drawing covers of late. That's no slight to the material that he's cranking out, but we freaking love it when he draws it all too. Dave Stewart dials in the colors like a true partner in crime. Here's the deal. Hellboy saved the world in the storm and the fury, but with a price. His life. His life. Nemu pulled his heart from his chest. Their battle destroying all of Great Britain. Yep, all of it. So he's dead, and of course cast into hell. His throne awaits, but he wants no part of it through several misadventures which he should have read or should immediately go pick up or digitally download. In this bizarre hell, our hero now finds himself sick and at risk of becoming one of the phantoms forever stuck haunting hell. If his dream sequence means anything, the rest of the world is sick and festering too. Hellboy's true name, Anung Un Rama Urush Un Rama, means destroyer of worlds, creator of worlds. Having found Hellboy passed out, 2 doctors lead Hellboy in the direction of a Dr. Hoffman, probably based loosely or drawn from E.T.A. Hoffman's short story, The Sandman, who gives Hellboy an elixir to hold him over, which may have just been to use Hellboy to stall a jaded Dr. Coppelius, who is after Hoffman like a hound of Pluto. It's so not as complex as it sounds. It's like a thick and tasty steak that melts in your mouth. Read it and just let the art take you through this bowl of water that is the Stygian Sea, the lake of fire, and at the center, pandemonium. Hellboy's in hell, but he's still going to save us all.
So we talked about maybe like 40 minutes getting this new structure down.
Yeah.
And Colby just shit all over it.
130.
Yeah, you didn't win.
It's not
You
terrible.
didn't win.
It's not
No, I'm
terrible.
just kidding.
I don't have anything else to say.
What's your question?
So when Mike Mignola draws it, does it just smell different? Does it have like a
That's not a
different
question.
feeling?
Yes, it's definitely a different feeling.
What? What about it?
Well, it's the original artist, what you originally fell in love with. I mean, what I did.
It doesn't smell different?
No, I don't think it's scratch and sniff.
My question is, what was your introduction to Hellboy?
I feel like we could get you a little drunk, put you in a suit, and put you in front of like a small seminar with like a podium and be like, hi. But if they were all there to like listen to a lecture on Hellboy, even drunk you could like pass. And they'd be like, oh, his insight was pretty good.
I think the movies came out before I actually read the comic. And so I was kind of into it then. Like, as soon as I saw the movie, I was like, I need to know what spawned this movie. And I delved into the comics, and the comics blow the movies away.
What books did you start out reading?
I mean, State of Destruction is probably
From the start.
the ultimate read. So I mean, the fact that Marvel will have little footnotes that reference other Marvel books, which don't mean shit to me. I mean, it's whatever. It's the history of the character, yes, but Hellboy's footnotes are like actual folklore connections or actual history connections, and that just ran a lot deeper. It's a basic good versus evil, which I've always loved. When somebody's spawned to destroy the world and then fights to defeat all of anything trying to destroy the world, that kind of anti-hero I'm most drawn to. So.
Colby, I will say that your Hellboy-centric last couple weeks of Most Anticipated have made me very much want to ask you to think about lending me your Hellboy.
Yeah, for sure.
From the beginning, I know you would.
Yep.
Seth, what was your number one pick for August 2015?
So with my extra time, I'm gonna delve into
Another Dark Horse title.
another Dark Horse title. Yes. 2 for 3. Harrow County, number 4, by Cullen Bunn, and art by Tyler Crook. This is a pretty classic horror comic dealing with the supernatural and witches and things. But what really, this book, the first 3 issues I've liked a lot, especially the art. But this issue really turned a corner for me, and I'll explain why. Throughout this book, we're introduced to these scary supernatural creatures, like a skinless man, and the skin that was on that
Kevin
man
Bacon?
in the bag of our main character, giving her instructions. Seems weird and creepy, but kind of cool.
Yeah. You got it. MovieReference.com.
MovieReference.com.
Oh.
Go ahead, Seth.
Sorry, you got plenty of time.
Plenty of time. Some other creatures we run into, a bunch of ghosts in a creepy graveyard. Some haints is what they're called. It's kind of a stupid name, but it's kind of
What are
like
they called?
haints. Like
That's
saints,
actually awesome.
saints with an H.
I get it.
Haints.
Haunts.
Yeah.
Haints.
Haints haunt you.
Think about it.
I love it. I absolutely adore alliteration, so.
They are kind of like these boar shadow creatures that live in the woods. Anyway, throughout the first 3 issues, our main character, this 18-year-old girl, is running into these characters and being scared shitless by them, and kind of running away from home because she finds out that the village is trying to kill her because she has some connection to this witch that they executed 18 years previous. But this issue, we really get the sense that these creatures she was running into is not what she should be scared of, but rather the people around her and her dad and his friends, who this issue reveals kind of what their relationship is to this girl and the witch before. And it's a really cool twist, and it really puts the main character in a position of power where she's the one striking fear in these people rather than the other way around. And I really liked it. The art is really cool. There is a creepy character that we're introduced to in this issue, and a couple of the frames do a wonderful job of making him a really creepy old dude.
That's interesting art.
I do not like that art.
Right,
Right, like,
It
just
looks
like off
like
the cuff.
puppet like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that in the car. That looks like a creepy ventriloquist.
Yeah.
This
Or master.
shadowy frame with his eyeglasses lit up is really cool, and you get like flashback scenes that are a little different in style. That
So
I
would
really
you
like.
say like
I really like the colors.
people have like a resistance to horror comics, just like horror movies?
I do.
Would you say
I'm
it's
one of those people.
approachable? Is it an approachable comic for people like that, or how horror is it?
Colby, get out of my mind and stop stealing my questions. I hate you. That's
Okay.
all. Answer it.
I would say I'm one of those people that I don't really dig horror movies
Yeah.
and horror comics. This one isn't so much like super scary, I wouldn't say, but it is dealing with a lot of similar horror tropes. Like a witch raising creatures and trying to convince people to follow her and stuff like that. And you also deal with the mob and mob mentality about an unknown creature, stuff like that. But honestly, it's much more centered around this character, and that's the vehicle you're following. So I think in that way, it does a much better job of like presenting you with an accessible story rather than dealing with just hard. It's definitely not hardcore horror.
Right.
It's not gore. It's not. It's not a comic that's supposed to necessarily scare you. It's more like an eerie story. So that was my favorite comic of August 2015, Harrow County number 4. If you missed out on part 1 of the hits, you can find the links below.
Favorite first. It was a good
Favorite
section.
first.
Thanks for joining us this month.
That one's
Did you
staying
hear
in.
how
That
I
one's
think
staying in.
Thanks for joining us for our hits of August. Episode 8, right?
That's correct.
The Ocho.
August, Ocho. 8.
That's it.
That's
Thank
it,
you
guys.
so much.
Come back next month.
Like
If
us
we
on
didn't
Twitter, like us on
tarnish-
Facebook. Come read the site. Congratulations, King Seth, on the double win!
Double win.
Which way's the weight room?
Reigning
Comics, whiskey, and beer in no particular order.
Just throwing that in.
Reigning champion next
Merry
month.
Christmas. See you guys next month. Cheers.
Reigning champion.
Oh,
Really?
there's an imaginary crowd.
You're gonna get your ass kicked next.
Billy didn't read it. He's just judging the cover.